Hello guys, and welcome to another Game of Theories. In this video, I'm going to give you my top 5 flashback predictions that I would love to see in Season 7, but also why I think they're going to be important in piecing together the storyline. Season 6 saw a rapid progression in the timeline, and flashbacks are definitely an effective way of filling in those gaps. So here we go. Coming in at number 5, Varys is a child, and what was said when his parts were tossed into the fire. Varys himself has admitted to being an orphan, who was apprenticed to a troop of mummers who worked the Free Cities, Old Town, and occasionally King's Landing. During their stay in Mire, a man offered a large sum of money for Varys, an offer that apparently his master couldn't refuse. The man gave Varys a potion that made him powerless to move or speak, but did nothing to dull his senses, as his manhood was cut off at the stem and then burnt in a brazier in a blood magic ritual. Why does there seem to be so much significance around Varys, and what words were spoken in the fire? Who realistically would pay obscene amounts of money for an orphan? And why would they want to perform a blood magic ritual on a random boy unless his roots are something much deeper? And this conjurer who performed the ritual must have known something that we didn't about Varys. We're clearly going to see more of Kinvara, the Red Priestess. So do you think that maybe she can confirm what was said? Maybe she can even give us the flashback. I mean, we don't know what the full capabilities of the priestesses can do. There are many rumours about him potentially having king's blood, or even being a secret Targaryen, and this blood magic ritual clearly has some meaning. Even Kinvara knew what was specifically said that seemed to get a reaction out of Varys. We want to hear it. Steady at number 4. Why did the Night King turn against the children of the forest? And what has provoked them to come out of the land of always winter again? Seriously though, why after 8,000 years are they only just now deciding to reappear in a bid to rid the world of men? I'm going to cover a similar topic of the White Walkers a little later on in this list, but for now, I think it's essential that we find out why the others turned against their creators. Maybe this would provide the answer as to how they could be, negotiated with by Bran or by someone else who can see that flashback. After seeing how they were created, we need to find out a bit more about the root of the Night King. How did he go on to form what looks like to be his hierarchy, and why is it now for so long that he's decided to start his second campaign against the First Men? Is this just a continuation of their first war now that they've regained their numbers and strength? Or did something happen that has provoked them? Maybe whatever their motive is, it's the same thing that caused them to turn on their makers. Could the doom of Valyria even be linked? That was approximately 400 years ago. But all we know is that there seems to be, a connection between Valyrian steel and the weakness of the White Walkers. This flashback could be the missing link as to what's going to happen. Coming in solid at number 3. Euron during his travels to Asshai, Valyria and Qarth. In the TV show, we've seen very little and know only a small amount about Euron, but he's featured a great deal in the books, and I can't help but feel that this is about to transition into the show. Since Euron's banishment, his ship called the Silence has sailed, pillaged and raped all over the known world. Euron boasts to have travelled to Asshai, and even sailed the Smoking Sea and walked the smoking ruins of Valyria. There are points in the book where Euron claims to have found a dragon egg, that he's tried to get a Myris wizard to hatch for him. He seized the horn known as Dragonbinder, which we're yet to see its full rumoured potential, and it seems like he might have even found some Valyrian steel armour. His storyline is going to be clearly of some significance in the wars to come. He's just won the Kingsmoot, and the displays in his confidence about their new ability and position to conquer Westeros is for a reason, and it would be amazing to get a payoff if we could see where Euron went on his travels and the items that he found, if they were able to confirm this business about him being a warlock. Imagine how awesome it would be if we did get to see the ruins of Valyria, and we got to see up close and in detail for the first time in a flashback. Just missing the top spot at number 2, I think a Bran vision of how the White Walkers were first defeated is vital for this story. This is kind of tied into number 4, and the reason why the White Walkers feature twice in this list is because there's actually so little we know about them. To be clear, let's be sure that everyone knows there are two different characters that are constantly referred to in both the books and the show. You have the Night King, who we know is currently leading the others and the White Walkers, and they were created by the Children of the Forest. You then have the Night's King, who was the 13th Lord Commander of the Night's Watch, and legend has it that one time when he was out ranging, he came across this cold woman with bright blue eyes that he fell madly in love with and gave her his seed and his soul, and eventually he brought her back beyond the wall, and they dubbed themselves as the Night's King and the Night's Queen. Now, something that was very similar to Crass's Keep is when they controlled one of the castles, which was the Night Fort, it was said that they made sacrifices to the others that were on the other side of the wall. So in the Song of the Ice and Fire novels, Brandon the Breaker, who is said to be the Night's King brother, and Joramun, who was the king beyond the wall at the time, formed an alliance to defeat the Night's King and the Night's Queen and free the Night's Watch from his rule. After his fall, when it was discovered that he had been sacrificed into the others, all records of him were completely destroyed, and his very name was erased from the history books. Although the Night's King and Queen were defeated, they clearly had some involvement in the rejuvenation of the others, but after they were beaten back to the lands of the Always Winter, we need to know how they were defeated in the first place. The others seemingly have some sort of government or high council, as it's been revealed even in the show. The Children of the Forest must have always knew that they would have come back, otherwise they wouldn't have even built the wall. But what we need to know is, how did they beat them back all those years ago? This information is going to be more important now than ever, as it seems like there are no more Children of the Forest. My call is that we're going to find out how the First Men won, and that Sam might find out how we can forge Valyrian steel and dragonglass again whilst he's at the Citadel. Without question, claiming the crown to the #1 spot has to be a flashback of Rhaegar Targaryen's victory at the Tournament of Harrenhal. We all know this story oh so well, but god damn, even if it's just to confirm Jon's lineage, or even deny it, why can't I stop obsessing about the possibility of a flashback to what has been consistently depicted as the most epic tournament, with some of the most skilled warriors and knights ever spoken about throughout the entire series. Somewhere around 280 AC, Lord Walter Wendt announced this tournament that would be held at Harrenhal to rival all previous tournaments. During this great tournament, Rhaegar seemed unstoppable, and he even defeated the most legendary knight at the time, Sir Arthur Dayne. Taking the Winter Rose crown for the Queen of Love and Beauty, this is where he first revealed his interest in Lyanna Stark, by passing his wife, Prince Elia of Dorne, and setting it in Lyanna's lap. This is where Lord Eddard Stark later recalled the moment as when all smiles died. This was literally the starting point of Robert's rebellion, and what is most arguably one of the two biggest events to ever take place in the Game of Thrones universe, only to be possibly rivaled by the Doom of Valyria. Was Lyanna kidnapped? Were they even in love? And did they get married? Or was there something even deeper going on that only a few people around them were aware of? What strikes me as very odd is that Lyanna, the woman who refused to accept her betrothal to Robert Baratheon because of his womanizing ways, only then goes to fall for a married man? And then this married man, who is widely spoken about of how honourable he is and how well loved he was by all across Westeros, it just doesn't make sense. It feels to me like we're missing something, and I'm dying to find out what. Or even if it's just to see Rhaegar in all his glory. I think that this is the flashback that we were looking for. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Let's try and set a first target of 300 likes. And make sure you hit that subscribe button, as I've got a lot of content planned for this channel. Check out my other theories on Euron and what possibly the true meaning of A Song of Ice and Fire could be. And let me know in the comments below what flashbacks you want to see for Season 7. And until the weekend, peace!